Hello and welcome, my master Lama Rasaji, and this is Rasaji Speaks, the Saturday edition. This is the 18th, and if you're viewing this today, don't forget there's no class with Master David this morning because Master David's with us in Nashville, and if you want to see him and see Lama G and some incredible stuff, you might want to check out the live streaming that's being broadcast for about 6 hours today that starts at 9 o'clock Eastern time and goes to about 4:30 Eastern time. And it's going to be incredible part of our Ascension tour here in Nashville. Today, I'm going to read a chapter or some pages, actually, from our newest edition, The Circle of Chi, the Ascension Tour edition. I'm just going to read a few pages here. I'm on page 84, where we're discussing movement and breathing and stuff, and just read for you. How does the energy exist in nature? I'm breathing air right now in this beautiful location. There is high level of oxygen because there's so much foliage around me. Where I live in 3 to 4 blocks from the beach, so I can go into my backyard every day and breathe the ocean air, and it's a lot of oxygen. I can't see the air, but if I were to go just a few minutes without air, well, that's most important and necessity for the physical body. It helps to do everything in metabolizing energy itself, but it also metabolizes my food, my water, by getting proper oxygen every day. As a matter of fact, like this, shaking hands, anxiety, if your nervous system oxygen level goes down just a little bit, when you see people get a little frantic and agitated, you better believe this, that they stopped breathing correctly minutes and maybe even hours ago. As we breathe more and more air, we're better. So we know that's important. What about water intake? I can go for maybe a few hours if you drink when you get thirsty. And if you wait too long and get thirsty, well, you're already dehydrated. Already a couple of hours ago, more than likely. Did you know that? That's when you get a headache. What is the most common reason for getting a headache? It is lack of fluids and lack of oxygen. That's the most simple reason that people do get headaches. So it's so important, right? What about exercise? We know the old saying, use it or lose it. My muscles and my skeleton system have to have a certain amount of expansion and contraction on a regular basis. I need usually at least 20 to 40 minutes a day to properly do that. Why? Because the aging process teaches you the opposite of that. The aging process is if you don't work the muscles in your leg, one day your heart will enlarge and become a suction plumber, as opposed to being a valve where the blood flows freely. If my hamstrings and my calf muscles are tight, then my kidneys and my heart are also going to suffer. So everything is working together. That's the meaning of the way or the Tao. That's the meaning of the way, and getting out of the way. Don't stop the way from happening. God designed the Tao, the way, the path, and the Dharma, if you will, for all of us to follow. With Tai Chi Gong, they did something very simple. Lamas, after 3,000 years, looked at how everybody was aging. And do you know they decided to create a system that does literally the opposite. I'll never forget when I was coming down from the mountain after my 45-day renewal in bewilderment. I'm thinking about, is a 20-year-old going to touch the lives of 40 and 50-year-old students? I couldn't see other 20 and 30-year-old kids or teenagers embracing this. We stopped by a rock, and Bo Yang said, "It's bothering you, little llama." I said, "How am I going to have an impact? What am I going to do? How should I now observe these 4 years of training?" He said, "Oh, you want to get there fast, I see." He said, "I thought a 45-day renewal and meditation would have slowed you down, that microwave mind down just a little bit." I said, "Maybe it slowed me down a little bit, but you know me, I am driven." And he said, "Yes, you are. You are very driven. That's your soul, and that's your spirit, your sharat and your shakti." I know that. And he said, "Look at what the world's doing, little llama, and do the opposite." And the thought to myself of, oh my goodness, how profound is that? I'll never forget one of the first times I remember using this mindset. We were going into the Magic Kingdom at Disney World, and I saw everyone going to the right to Tomorrowland, and I went left to Adventureland. And I got to ride 2 to 3 times more rides that day. I started remembering that every time something happened in the world that didn't make any sense. It's really true, I realized today, what the Lamas have done. They looked at what people did aging fastly, and there created a system of aging slowly. And in some case, maybe even reversing the aging symptoms themselves. You've seen some of us, we do pretty well. We've been around for a while. Mahalama turned 116 years old in April of this year. He looks like a healthy 75 to 78-year-old man. He smiles even bigger than my smile, and he loves life with all his heart. He doesn't sleep much, doesn't eat much. He has very little need for money, and he's probably the happiest soul that I know on the planet today. Do you know what I realized on this journey of 55 years of training and 40 years of sharing? I just started to learn that he really always knew. It's hard for me to believe, even when I was a little runny-nosed kid at 13 years old. He entered my life, and he was about the age that I am today. It's hard to believe that. What I have learned in the last 50 to 60 years, I can tell you this. This Lama is so excited about sticking around and knowing what he has learned for these 50 to 60 years. I think you have to give yourself permission. I think you have to realize that you have a sharat, a soul, that is so passionate about movement, passionate about energy, and definitely passionate about communication, the age we live in. I think you need to stick around long enough for your soul can enter your body and enlighten you beyond measure. Truly enlighten you, turn on the flashlight of consciousness. I'm thankful that you've joined us today for this remarkable chapter on movement. Stay tuned, because in the next chapter on nutrition, we'll knock your socks off, because we're going to learn about 3 levels of nutrition. Most people only know about 1. Lamaji is going to teach you about all 3. Baraka Bashide. Well, remember, if you've never read the book that we have in the store, it's called the Ascension Tour version. It's also 3 DVDs come with that if you want the package together. We used to call it the home study course of Tai Chi Gong. It is a phenomenal study course, probably one of the best on the market. But it tells you the connection between Babaji, Melchizedek, Boganathar, and Bo-Yang down to Lamaji Rasaji, the global spokesperson. Remember, if you're interested in doing some Tai Chi Gong live today, do some with Master David and Lamaji. You're going to see some things on that live streaming in Nashville. Hear some things you've never seen and you've never heard before. And you can go to thecircleofchi.com. You can click on the events and the Ascension Tour and connect right away. They process you through PayPal in 40 different countries around the world. And then you'll be connected to our Zoom feed. And I think you'll know that you're really, really enjoying yourself. Baraka Bashai to you and to your glorious family. I'll be back with you Monday for Rasaji Speaks. Have a wonderful weekend with your glorious family. Be a blessing to someone who cannot be that kind of blessing to themselves. It'll really soften your heart. We all want to develop the heart of Jesus, yes? And be inspired by the giver of life, the Holy Spirit, who is before you now and telling you every time you do your Tai Chi Gong, you accelerate the Holy Spirit's connection to you. And it makes your body the divine battery. That's right, the divine battery. God bless you all. See you really soon.